Hey. Time for the Out of This World story from rSpace. Caught my wife cheating when affair partner's messages appeared on her smartwatch. Revenge came swiftly when her affair went public on the 6 o'clock news. If you're going to cheat, better make sure it's not with someone in the public eye. Or maybe you don't cheat in the first place. Today on rSpace, this cheater gets caught in 4K. First, a bit of background. My soon-to-be ex, 57 female, and I, 57 male, have been married for 32 years. We grew up in a small town, so we've known each other our whole lives. We were best friends before we started dating, and we didn't actually start taking things seriously until we were about 19. We left our town and went to college together, which was about an hour and a half away. My soon-to-be ex went in for her teaching degree, and I went in for my engineering degree. We ended up having 2 kids of our own, our beautiful 2 girls, 26 female, 29 female. Our eldest is currently pregnant with her first baby. After college, I worked hard to open up my own home builder's company. My soon-to-be ex supported our family through it all, quite literally emotionally and financially, and I never got a sense of resentment or anything until now. For a long while, we had to really lean on her paychecks while I was slowly building things up. But after about 6 years, my company skyrocketed and I started thriving, so much so that my brother ended up going into business with me and we built a life together. The company expanded. We took on larger projects, built custom homes, and even ventured into commercial construction. I worked really hard. I was away from home a lot, long hours trying to build things up, and my soon-to-be ex took care of our girls mostly. We worked hard, but we also made sure to enjoy life and play hard. That was huge for us. We didn't want to get bogged down in work. We began traveling a lot as a family, and it seemed like life was good. My soon-to-be ex was fed up with her teaching job, so she finally retired from it last year. I knew the job was causing her grief, but I didn't realize it was also because she was tired of me and our life together. When I tried to talk to her about it, she just blamed it on work, but she wasn't really opening up to me. She had actually become such a different person. It started feeling like she was increasingly disinterested in our life together. Our sex life was basically down to nothing. Whenever we did, it just felt empty. Shortly after she was officially retired, she took a girls' trip to Italy in August with some of her longtime gals to celebrate the occasion. They were going to be there for 2 weeks. After Italy, she told me that they were going to Miami for a weekend, just as a pit stop before they came home. Apparently, one of her friend's parents had a place there, and it was cheaper to fly into Miami. I didn't know this friend all that well, but believed this to be true at the time. When she comes home from the trip, our girls take her out for a lunch date and to do some shopping. But I get this text from my eldest while they're out. She asks me if I've talked to Mom today. I tell her that I talked to her earlier today before she left to meet them for lunch. Then she texts me and asks if I've called Mom today at all, and I said that I didn't. Then I text again and ask why she's asking me all of this. She tells me, no reason. I don't believe it for 1 second. I text back, is everything okay? And she says that she'll call me once she's home. Well, I couldn't really get my mind off of it at all, and was anxious that something might have gone wrong. When she finally did call me, she said that Mom was acting weird on the lunch date. She got a call from what sounded like a guy, and at first they thought it was me because the convo seemed to be a bit flirty, but then she got up and walked away from the table and was basically gone for 30 minutes, standing outside of this restaurant, talking to someone on the phone, laughing or whatever, and the girls were left to eat their lunch amongst themselves. That's when my eldest said she texted me because she just had a gross feeling about it. When their mom got back to the table, she asked who it was, and she said it was a friend. My eldest tried to probe a bit and asked if it was a guy, and that's when their mom snapped back a bit and said that it wasn't any of their business. I guess my youngest gave her a look, and finally, my soon-to-be ex said, Laura, it's only Laura. My eldest told me she didn't want to jump to conclusions, but just wanted me to know because it didn't sit well with her because of how weird Mom's been acting. I thanked her for being honest with me and told her not to worry, and I told her not to lose sleep over it and apologized that their mom missed out on a nice lunch with them. I don't confront my soon-to-be ex about it that night because I didn't think there was enough evidence. For context, Laura is the name of a woman that she used to work with and is pretty close with, so it didn't tip me off right away. I didn't feel like fighting at the time because things were constantly turning into a fight at that point in our relationship. It just felt like we were in 2 separate books, never mind on 2 separate pages. After that, she started to become secretive. Whenever I suggested we do something together, she didn't seem to want to. Even simple things we used to enjoy together, like cooking dinner, etc. She made excuses to avoid spending time with me. She even made up excuses to our daughters, which was totally unlike her. My daughters would call me looking for mom, and they'd be upset because they'd asked her to go hang out or go do something fun, and my soon-to-be ex either didn't answer them or said that she had other things to do. I found this really strange and totally out of character. It wasn't like her to blow our daughters off like this. Our daughters were our world. Before all of this, they were constantly going to get their nails done together, or getting pedicures, or shopping, or just fun new things around the city. It was the foundation of their relationship. And I'll be honest, I was jealous of this at times. Now she just seemed totally uninterested in all of it. Or I guess too busy to do anything else other than what she had plans with friends. Whenever I asked her about it, she got on the defensive and said that she doesn't have to be at everyone's beck and call. Or, why can't you people understand that I have a life? You people. She referred to her own family as you people. She kept me and our kids at arm's length. Our convos became totally superficial. When I asked her what she had planned on the weekends, she would deflect and change the subject, totally avoiding anything that I'd suggest or the fact that I'd want to spend time with her. I honestly just thought she was burnt out from work. Although my soon-to-be ex never necessarily suffered from mental illness, I never dismissed that at this point. I thought that maybe just now was the time, and that work over the last few years just really took it out of her and left her at her breaking point. I even tried to mention couples counseling, to which she seemed utterly offended at the words. I tried to explain this to our girls. I really tried to tell them that mom was going through a hard time and that she just needed our support and needed us to be there for her and to just give her some slack. And even though their mom's new behavior was sort of rocking the boat, they tried their best to understand and be supportive. When our daughter broke the news to us about her pregnancy, I really thought it was what we needed to get us through this time. Like this baby would save us. It was stupid of me to think that. I know that now. I just thought life couldn't get any better, and man was I right. It was stupid of me to think that. My soon-to-be ex didn't take the news well at all. She started really spiraling. She started asking me if she was too old or looked too old. She told our daughter that she didn't want to be called grandma. All of that. It was a lot there for a little bit, and I know that being called grandma isn't for everyone, but the fact that she was so against it when she loved our girls so much was just so shocking to both the girls and I. Since she wouldn't talk to me and I had just chalked this up to the stress of work that finally just caught up to her after all this time, I really didn't know because she avoided conversations with me about the topic no matter what I tried. A couple of days ago, she wakes up and out of the blue, she tells me she's going for lunch with a girlfriend of hers. Before I can say anything, she rushes into the shower and starts rushing to get ready and out the door. It's just a quick bye. No, I love you. No, I'll be back in a bit. Nothing like that. Just bye and out the door. I decided to go for a run, but I couldn't find my own fitness tracker to track my heart rate. After some digging, I end up seeing her Apple Watch on the side table. Edit. She has the version that has internet when her phone isn't around it. I put it on and start my run, but her watch starts going off like crazy. Message after message. I go to throw the dang thing off until a message catches my eye. Can't wait to fill you up. I end up reading the messages. The contact was named Laura, but as I'm reading through the messages, there was absolutely no room for doubt. She was having an affair with Mark. I recognize his name as Laura's husband. We've known these people for a good 10 years or so. Laura and Mark were probably a good 8 years younger than us. Laura used to work at the same school that my soon-to-be ex did, and Mark worked for city council. They have 17-year-old twin boys and had a surprise oopsie 9 years ago. Their daughter. Honestly, it shocked me. I couldn't believe what I was reading. She must have changed his contact name to Laura when my daughters questioned who she was talking to at lunch months ago. When she got home, there was no waiting around this time and no beating around the bush. I told her we need to talk. She goes, okay, and says, what is it? I told her that I found her Apple Watch today that she forgot to bring with her. At first she looked puzzled, like, oh, did I? Sorry about that. I'm like, it's not about where you left it. It's about what I saw on it. She goes, what do you mean? I told her that I saw the messages that her and Mark were sending to each other. I told her that I know what's been going on in between the two of you. Then she starts to backtrack and her eyes start filling with tears and she's all, I can explain. I tell her that there's no need for explanations. The messages were clear enough. I just want to know why. Why did you do this? She tells me that Mark just understood her and he was exciting and supported her to retire and just gave me literally nothing but excuses. She couldn't really give me a straight answer. She felt like she just wanted to do something fun for herself. She said she hasn't had a life for herself in so long. She said that she felt she had been supporting this family for so long and just lost herself. And when work got hard, she said Mark was just there. I told her that I've been here for years. I said I've been nothing but supportive. I said we've always gotten through things together. I said that she's ruining the relationship she has with her daughters and she's just throwing our beautiful life away. I reminded her that she's about to be a grandmother. Then she got really heated and said that she's too young to be a grandmother. She said that she never asked for it. I had no idea where this was coming from. I asked her if she was okay and if she needed help. Then she got really mad and said that she can't do what she wants without people thinking she's losing it and going crazy. I told her that she should have talked to me and we could have worked through it together. Instead, she chose to betray me. Then she starts crying and says that she never wanted to hurt me. It just happened. She kept saying things with Mark just happened. She said Mark encouraged her to be herself and didn't ask too much from her. I had honestly heard enough at that point and started walking away. I grabbed her bag from the closet and told her to pack and get out. I couldn't be under the same roof as her. She started apologizing, but it was too late for all of that. She asked me where she was supposed to go and said this can't be it for us. I said we need to figure out where we go from here, but I needed her to know that I can't just forget about this. She broke my trust, and at this point, I don't know if it can be rebuilt. I tell her that I don't have answers right now, but she just needs to get out of the house. I told her that I don't care where she goes, but if she goes to Mark, I know where her heart lies. Edit. My youngest daughter called me later that night and asked me what was wrong with Mom. I told her that we're just going through a rough patch, and she tells me that Mom's with her and is completely inconsolable. I asked her if she said anything, and she said no. She asked me if we're okay, and I said that I don't really know. This is where I'm at, and I don't really know where to go from here. I mean, it's been 32 plus years, and I really don't even know what to think. Well, that's certainly one way to find out, OP. And honestly, does anything really happen? I feel like there had to have been some sort of driving force there. I feel like you know exactly where to go from here, OP, and sadly enough, I think you know where her heart lies. It's funny how when people get caught, nothing but lies and excuses just pour out of their mouths. And the worst part is that it's not just affecting you, but it's affecting your daughter's relationship with her mother as well. In what's supposed to be an exciting time for everyone. I mean, hey, not wanting to be called grandma is one thing. That's all fine and dandy. But having a midlife crisis and blaming everyone but herself? Really? Everyone is in charge of their own fate. Your ex is no exception. I mean, how exciting is Mark, really? He's in politics. Update 1. It's been a few days since I originally posted. I asked her to come over so we could talk. I needed to know the truth and how far everything went, even though I've already made my mind up. Before I get into that, she must have said something to our daughters about how she doesn't know if I'm going to stay with her or not, and then they jumped to conclusions and thought that I was just leaving Mom because she's been acting strangely, and that I'm giving up on her. I had debated on sticking up for myself and telling the truth, or just telling them that I have to tell them what's going on after Mom and I figure some stuff out. I went with the truth. Because my ex was staying with our youngest, my youngest instantly flipped out and told her that she couldn't stay with her, and it ended up in tears and shouting. I had to go over there and break it up. My ex ended up getting picked up from her friend, and apparently that's where she's staying now. My daughters are not doing okay with all of this, and I'm actually a bit worried for my eldest in the condition that she's in. Anyway, when my ex came over, she looked like absolute hell, but she starts acting like we're getting back together, and thanks me for having her back, and she tries unpacking her bags. I tell her that she's not coming back. She's just there to tell me the truth. I said I was done. I just had to understand why. It took a bit for her to open up. At first, she was just begging me to forgive her, and when I finally said that this was her last chance to tell me the truth and keep what's left of her dignity intact, that's when she said it just started out as sex at first, just to blow off some steam, and then it turned into something more. She tells me that they love each other. She said it's just been over 3 years. She said she didn't want to hurt me, but didn't know how to tell me. She says that she'll end things with Mark and doesn't want Laura to know because they're friends. Before we get to that, I'm asking her why she would break things off with Mark when she's already told me that she loves him. I asked her how she thinks I could be with someone who loves another man. Then she tells me that she loves me too. I'm like, well, which is it? She didn't answer me. I tell her that I'm done and I can't stay with her in the marriage. I told her that I've tried to be patient with her and understanding, but I said that she just never opened up to me whenever I asked. She starts crying and says that we should go to couples counseling just before giving everything up. I told her that I tried that before and she got mad at me for even suggesting it. Then I said that it wasn't me who gave up. She gave up the moment she decided to cheat on this family. She said she never meant for anything like this to happen. I try not to spiral and go down into the why wasn't I good enough kind of thing, but I asked her why him. And she says that he spoiled her and gave her attention, and she said she didn't have to think with him. He took charge. Then I tried to keep my cool long enough to hear about Italy. She said that Laura was amongst the girlfriends that all went to Italy. She said that she didn't actually go to Florida for the weekend. She said that her and Mark got a hotel here and stayed there together for the weekend. Mark had told Laura that he had to go out of town for a guy's fishing trip. She said that Laura doesn't know, and she starts begging me not to tell anyone. I told her that's pretty hard when our daughters know, and you can't tell our daughter to keep her disgusting secret for her. I tell her that she has to come clean. Then she asks me why if I've already made up my mind about not being with her. I told her it's the right thing to do, and because she's cheating on me with one of her best friend's husbands. Then I ended up texting Laura over without telling my ex. Edit, I had her number on my phone because I had to meet with her to pick up some stuff she was getting rid of once. I text her to tell her that my ex and I need to talk to her as soon as she can come over. She seems really confused but says sure, and she's over within half an hour. Well, it was just another fight with me and my ex when Laura pops in. My ex stormed out of the house and Laura, poor thing, looked so confused. I ended up breaking the news to her about everything and she didn't take it well. But she thanked me for letting me know. I'm assuming my ex went directly to see Mark because Mark called Laura as she was leaving the house. I didn't hear the conversation, but I could see her getting visibly upset in the car as she was sitting in the driveway. That's all for now. I've contacted a lawyer, and I guess we'll see what happens from here. Oh yes, bringing Laura over was a smooth move, OP. Here's hoping your lawyer can get out of this mess faster than your ex decided to retire. Update 2. Back with a bit of an update since I see that some of you have been asking. It's been 6 months and I'm not officially divorced quite yet, but I'm just waiting on signing the last bit of papers from her, and then I can wash my hands of it all. My ex was surprisingly really cooperative with me through all of it, but I think that's because she got a lot of slack and hate for being the other woman. Mark stepped down from his position amidst all of the drama. You can imagine that the media had a field day. I mean, it's not like he's the mayor or anything, but people love their drama. There were pictures and videos of them together that ended up getting leaked from just random strangers videotaping them together going in and out of restaurants and hotels. There was a rumor going around that some students even caught them together in her classroom. Anyways, all of this came out afterwards. Rumor or not, she was properly publicly shamed. She let me keep the house, but I had to buy her share of the business back from her just to have her name wiped off of everything. It wasn't a lot, thank goodness. I just split that share amongst our daughters. The good thing is I don't pay alimony. She didn't go for it. Not that it would have killed me financially, but it would have been more annoying than anything. Our daughters don't talk to her, and my eldest could have her baby any day now. I know that the tension between them is really high, but my ex hasn't really even asked about how my eldest is doing, and doesn't seem interested in the slightest, which breaks our hearts. I think her and Mark tried to live together right after for a little bit until the media caught wind, and then Laura told me that they had cut things off. Laura also immediately went for a divorce, but I think theirs is still going through the motions. They have a little one to consider. My ex is renting some apartment downtown now. My business is still going well. I'm just waiting for my grandbaby to get here, and then I'll be taking some time off to spend with family, and brother will be taking the lead on things for a bit. There's eyes everywhere nowadays, isn't there? Looks like Mark's going to need counseling of his own after this. Glad your ex got what was coming to her. Maybe she finally got the excitement that she was craving. She definitely has a life of her own now, but it's getting flushed down a drain. All the best, OP. What do you think? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time.